You're listening to the Building Stronger Agents podcast, where we interview the top solo agents, team leaders, and brokers across the country to see what makes them thrive in today's market and beyond. So my name's Will Penney, and I am in Akron, Ohio, and I've been a realtor for 38 years. And today we are going to have a webinar, masterclass, whatever you want to call it. We're going to talk about how to increase your chances of securing more listings going into 2026. It's all about using the time between now and the end of the year to buckle down and not be like the average slackers that show up January 1 with their New Year's resolution, and then it all falls apart in 3 weeks. So we're not playing that game. I'm fortunate enough to have a friend of mine, Jeremy Larkin, who's in St. George, Utah. Jeremy manages a mega team of 11 agents, doing about $100 million a year in sales. And he's like the Yoda of mindset. And so we're going to first, before we start talking about how to get a listing and how to prospect and all of that, we really need to have a little convo about how to get your head in the right place, because a lot of us throw up a really big wall between what we are capable of doing and what we're doing now, all because of our beliefs. So having said that, I'm going to hand this over to
as you're meeting, and we're going to give you guys some phenomenal tips today on how to think through this process, and Will, how you can control that. I want you guys to literally write something down unless you're driving a car. Okay. I do this with my team. Some of my team are in this room. We've sold 142 homes this year. That's okay. I'd like it to be more. We have 15 under contract. That's about $75 million in real estate. Will and I have both personally sold over 100 listings in a year. And I only tell you this, it's another sales phrase, not to impress you, but to what, guys? Impress upon you the fact that we have some sort of sense of how to do this, okay? I want you to write something down. You're going to write down, it is fully possible to take a listing every day. I'm going to repeat it. It is fully possible to take a listing every day. You see, the problem is if you do not believe that it's possible, look, you might meet a builder and it's, your wife or husband's friend, or you met, it's like your kids, it's preschool, it's their dad, and he gives you 20 listings. Outside of those kind of extenuating circumstances, if you don't believe that you can take a listing every day, I have to tell you something. It's going to be very hard to ever get yourself into that mode. There's a book that I've been reading and I've been blabbing about with Jesse and Will on a group text called The Science of Scaling. I'll read something to you about one of the reasons that you're having a hard time getting more business. Okay. And some of you think it's like, oh, I should make more phone calls. You should. I should have better skills. You should. But the first problem is you have a gigantic roadblock. It's like an arm at the airport when you try to go leave and you got to pay them the damn fee. I fly out of Las Vegas all the time, even though I live in Utah. And I think it's $28 a day now. The parking, I don't know, it's gotten insane. You pull up and there's the arm. The cool thing is when you pay the fee, what does the arm do, guys? What does it do? It opens. I want to read something. For a goal to be effective, it needs to be a hot knife, not only cutting cleanly through your fears and faulty assumptions, but also ripping your entire business to shreds, leaving only the most relevant and scalable goal. I'm going to read it again. Guys, for a goal to be effective, it needs to be like a hot knife, not only cutting cleanly through your fears and faulty assumptions. Guys, who has fears or faulty assumption in this group? Either say me or raise their hand. I'm the webinar guy and I'm dealing with my own fears and faulty assumptions. It has to rip your entire business to shreds, leaving only the most relevant and scalable goal. See, one of the problems is that we set realistic goals. And realistic goals are based on this. Gosh, I don't know. Do you think I had a wonderful lady on a call this last week on a coaching call? And I said, what was your goal this partial year? She said 4 sales. I said, 4 units sold? She's like a smart gal. She's a new agent. She said, yeah. I said, did you know that you can sell a home every month, like minimum? Like just even before you get out of bed? She said, I can. See, when you set guys reasonable goals, you frame your world, you organize your world in a reasonable way. And you get reasonable what? What's the word?
Results.
Bingo. So if you don't believe today that you can find, and so this morning, Suzette, and right here, one of my team members, I saw her, I saw Melissa. This morning, we actually read that quote in our huddle. I said, guys, you have to believe that you can find a new client every day. And Suzette did. She's going to write $1 million offer today. Congrats. She just told me this like 20 minutes ago here in the building. You have to first believe that you can find a new client every day. If you're full-time in real estate, I know some of you are going to be like, holy hell, he's actually speaking such freaking logic. Why did I not think this? If you're in full-time real estate, why would you not be thinking about finding a new client every single day? But did you know that 95% of agents, literally, they're not, because they don't even think they can. So even though they get on, they just put on their suit and they go to the office or whatever they do, they're actually not thinking, I could find a new client. I should find a new client today. So I want to set the rest of our discussion up with this mindset piece. Yes, you need better skills. Yes, you need to talk to more people. But I have tough news for everybody. Once you sell 40 homes, 25 homes, and you want to sell 50, once you sell 50, you want to sell 100, at some point, there aren't enough hours in the day. And so when we set really, really great goals, like this book talks about, Science of Scaling, we can start shifting the way that we even operate. We start going, you know, the way I've been operating, maybe it's not the best way. Maybe it's inefficient. Maybe it's ineffective. Maybe I should do this differently. You know, I was talking to Melissa on my team this morning. I said, you know, Melissa, if you wanted to make $500,000 instead of $200,000, you'd probably have to find a showing partner and like pay them to show all your homes. Well, a lot of agents are like, Jesse, you can nod your head if this is right. They're like, I would lose control. I don't know if I want to pay them. I asked her this morning, I said, would you trade $20,000 to make an extra 200? Yes. Would you trade 50 to make an extra 150? Yes. Would you trade 100 to net an extra 100? Yes. So all I'm telling you guys today is we talk about taking a listing, and we're going to move on to the practicalities of this. You have to be thinking like the kind of person that goes and finds new business every day. Every day. And what was the affirmation? Someone read the affirmation I made you write down today. I don't care who. Scream at us.
Well, we've got everybody muted, so they'll have to type it in the chat.
What? Somebody put it in the chat. What did I make you write down? I want you to say it.
Jeremy. And this episode of the Building Stronger Agents podcast is brought to you by Social Orchard. At Social Orchard, we help successful real estate agents nurture their past clients in Sphere 4 to 5 days a week so that you can never be forgotten. We're going to help you build a community with a private Facebook group. We provide all of the content, we help you engage and have conversations with your sphere. All you have to do is invite your Facebook friends, grow the group, and engage with the comments daily. With your private friends and family Facebook group, you are never going to be forgotten again. And over time, your referral and repeat business is going to be stronger than it ever has been before. Visit socialorchard.com today. And before we get into the three types of business, I want to piggyback off of what you're talking about for a moment.
It is fully possible to take a listing every day. Boom, Christina. Go ahead, Will.
Yeah. When I first got in the real estate business, when I was 19, there was a guy in my office by the name of Hank Thalrose. And in 1986, as a solo agent with a closing coordinator, he sold 364 homes.
Oh my gosh.
He was the number 2 Century 21 agent in the United States for units, right? 364 homes. I was looking on my calendar here, and I'm not saying this to be bragging either, but this is from 1994. And in 1994, when I was 24, I sold 47 houses and with no internet. So to piggyback off of what Jeremy was saying, because I have ADD really bad. Everyone on my team knows that. Christina always says squirrel. Fine, that's great. The only reason I can laugh about it is because I've had quite a lot of success. But time blocking doesn't work for me. And I know time blocking doesn't work for a lot of people. So I run a lot, and I don't run as much as I was, but for running and for business, my hack, because I'm so distracted, and this might help some people before we get into the tactics. If I want to run 50 miles in a week, my head is, because if I just have, well, I'll just run 6 miles every day, that's 42 miles a week. I can't do it that way because things get in the way. So I know that I have to run 25 miles by Friday, and then I can get the rest of, I'll do 12 on Saturday and probably 14 on Sunday. For 20 plus of my 37 years, because I was so bad with, and this was before these stupid things that have turned us into like the smoking chimpanzee, you know, this has made us worse, not better, as far as for me anyway. So before all of that, I was so distracted that the way that I would get my stuff done is every morning during the week, I would work to get one appointment. So it goes back to what you said. So I'm an outcome person. So I knew that I couldn't control the number of hours that I called. I couldn't control the number of people that I could reach. I would try to get one appointment a day, which was 5 a week, which is 250 a year. 25% conversion is 60 transactions. And I did that for a long time. These Century 21, these were 60 transactions to get one of these, and this was 1995. So that's what I did. I would make one appointment a day. And to Jeremy's point, if you've got a whole day to get some stuff done and you're going to focus on productivity, it's not that hard to get an appointment. If you've got a whole month, you should be able to sell, however, whatever your goal is, you got a whole month to do it. And I know Jeremy and I both I sold 110 houses with a showing agent myself in 2010 with no team. It sucked, but I did it. And having said that, hopefully this will help, but try to think about what you want to do. Like my business coach always says, you want to have a substantive conversation with somebody every day about selling, and you want to add at least one bona fide lead, somebody that has an intent to either buy or sell in the next 12 months into your database, into your CRM. One a week is 50 a year. It's all about compounding.
Done. Seriously, before we can go forward, guys, is that impactful how ridiculous? So I call it reducing to the ridiculous what Will just said is. I just tried to get an appointment a day, 5 a week, 250 a year to sell 60 homes. See, here's the
25% conversion.
25%, because here's the problem. Can I tell you guys where you get tripped up? And just so you know how I know where you get tripped up, because I get tripped up and I run a team and I know where people get tripped up. You get stuck thinking about trying to sell 60 homes instead of getting stuck on how do I get one appointment today? Can everybody give me like a nod or like, is this making sense?
Yeah, it's no different. And Jeremy, it's no different than anything, losing weight or saving money or paying debt off. If you've got a $20,000 credit card and you start thinking about paying that off, you're going to just not do it.
Bingo.
But if you think, okay, if I don't know what the math is on 20,000, but the point is that if you just, $5 a day, whatever, you just make a payment a month over 5 years, it'll be paid off, right? But most of us, we can't think down the road. We can't think of the large numbers. So as a result, we just don't do it at all.
Correct. I mean, guys, the paralysis analysis and analysis paralysis, whatever we want to say, it's very real, and it's very real for me. And so one of the things that you're going to notice we're talking about, and we're going to be out here, guys, in 43 minutes, right, is we're not advertising sell 4 homes on Instagram this year. That is cool. And if somebody out there is doing that, I think that is very, very neat. What we want to do is help you practically actually go get business. And one of the things that's been funny is Will and I've been in some really long dialogues on the phone about the fact that there is so much pressure for all of us to be on the gram and on TikTok, and we're supposed to find clients this way. Yet if you lined up 100 agents, if you can find 2 on there that are slaying it with those platforms, like selling homes, I like 3 maybe. At the end of the day, Instagram does not convert leads. It does not set appointments. It does not handle the pricing conversation at the table, the hardest conversation in real estate. It definitely doesn't handle the second hardest conversation, which is commission. Did you guys know commission's a lot less difficult than pricing? Right? Like, guys, of the last 100 listings I took, at least 80 of them just signed the thing. I mean, I told them the fee was whatever, like 3% on our side or whatever. And, you know, on the listing side, and they were, oh, cool. Okay, cool. Maybe 20% balked. 90% of sellers balk on pricing. So understand that Instagram won't do that for you. So we're talking about practicalities. What we're about to tell you is you're going to have to pick up your phone. And that may or may not be disappointed. Like, if you want to pull the ripcord right now and get off this call, you probably should, but I think we can help you.
Pull the rip.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
let's,
Like, I'm
so
out,
that we
like,
can keep this on.
Yeah.
What we're going to do then, we've got 3 pillars that we're going to talk about. Okay. And we're going to open this up to questions the last 5 to 10 minutes. But we've got a lot because we want to keep this to an hour and we've got a lot to go over. And the recording of this will be available. I'm going to save it to YouTube and anyone can reach out to me. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just email it to everybody who registered. But there's 3 pillars that we're going to focus on today. We're going to focus on the active prospecting, which is you actually reaching out to people, however you choose to do that. Okay. Then we're going to talk about attraction through professionals, meaning getting listings from people that have leverage with houses and send them to you. Okay. Then the third one is going to be follow up with your past client sphere of influence to generate more referrals from the people who already know you. Those are the 3. And again, if that's too boring for you, or if you're feeling let down, then just press the end screen down.
It's
that
leave.
X
It's leave. It's the leave button.
Yeah. Oh, leave. Yeah, I could end it,
Yeah.
but everyone else can leave.
I love it.
I don't want it. Right. So those are the 3 things. So starting off, we're going to get right into it. Active prospecting. I'm going to talk about what I've done. Everybody go, and by the way, we're all on the same social media. And I see the same people talking about how cold calling doesn't work anymore and this doesn't work anymore. Fine. Whatever you say doesn't work won't work, right? What Brent Gove always says, he always says, whatever you believe is true. So whatever it is, that's that, right? But let's assume that you can reach people. Rebecca on my team, who's on this call, she knocks doors around open houses and gets listings, right? So let's start off with the active prospecting. Jeremy, go. What do you do?
Yeah, let's talk about this, guys. So I built my business as a young agent. This is when I met Jesse, right? So when I met Connie Roller, who's on this call, Tom Ferry organization, I'll show you guys something. For everybody in here who is under 35, especially under 30, you see this binder? This is the binder, Connie. Do you remember it from the 2005? She's nodding her head. Success Summit, Tom Ferry.
Success Summit.
I'd been in the business for 60 days and I went in here and I got this binder and it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my whole entire life. And I didn't know anything about business. And this is me doing the circle of life exercise. Do you guys see it? The circle of life. Okay. Physical, emotional, financial, vacations. And like, it had all this cool stuff in here. And here's what I did. I went through this binder. I kept it. And I left this seminar and I was like, this is a business. I thought I was just going to be a realtor, or like all your other friends say it, a realtor. Beat them in the face if they say realtor. And if you say realtor, you're out of the business forever. You're relegated to mortgage. I came out of there and I was like, holy shit, this is something I did not understand. And I was like Moses. Remember what Moses said? Anyway, it's the whole thing. So I come out of there. Come on, Sean. Come on, Sean. He says, don't give up my day job. So I came out of there and I said, wait, you can call expires and for sale by owners. Oh, but they're really hard. Let me show you guys something. Let me show you something right now on my screen. Does anybody see what's on that screen right there? This is Mojo Dialer. This is every single frickin' expired in Southern Utah dating back 2 years. Do you know that right now I can go in and I can come up here and I can select the page, start the power dialer, take the selected records. I can come in here. I'll use Jeremy's, let's use, look at that. It says EXP. Was that an omen, Will? Expired callback. I can grab a pre-recorded voicemail, go on a triple line dialer, and start calling these people and dropping voicemails. Did you guys actually know this is a thing? In 90 seconds, I could be calling every expired. So I want you to write down 2 services for expireds and FSBOs. Mojo dialer, M-O-J-O, and Land Voice, okay? And
what do you think about Red X?
Red X is great too, okay? But I also can get the FSBOs in here, okay? I use both Land Voice and Mojo, okay? I want you to envision this, that you get up in the morning, we said get a listing today. You call, look, Will Penney webinar is on here. Take the car to the Kia dealership. You're actually seeing my calendars integrated here. So I can come in here. I can call canceled, expireds, for sale by owners. I can pull neighborhoods. My team, look at this. Do you see this? 1050 East Brigham open house. That's one of my team members pulled 100, 200 numbers and they dialed around an open house. And they called and they said, hey, Christy, it's Jeremy Larkin with the Larkin Group. And they said whatever they said. When I realized that I could pick up the phone and call an expired or call a FSBO and sell a home that day. So one day, my first FSBO ever listed, I called these people. They lived in Scenic Sunrise in St. George. Wouldn't mean anything to you. It's kind of a crappy subdivision, to be honest. And so, well, there's an industrial zone you have to drive through to get there. I called them at like 10:30 in the morning. The husband answered. We had the dialogue. I followed my framework that I use, my FSBO framework. And my FSBO framework, I learned in Tom Ferry's program, but I would always call for just the preview appointment. I never pretended that I had a buyer, never, ever. I'd say, hey, I don't have a buyer, Will, but I'd love to create that situation. Could I come just take a look at your home and have you give me the 50-cent tour? I go out, I took the listing docs, I asked the question, Will, if everything makes sense and you feel, I know you don't feel like you're ready to list, but if everything makes sense and you feel really comfortable that I could get you the same amount of money, like, would you be open to listing your home today? And they're like, yeah. Guys, sometimes people say yes, but see, you don't make any phone calls, so you don't even find out.
Because you're assuming they're going to all say no.
Correct. I go out there, and the punchline to this story is I signed the listing at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, same day. And when I left the subdivision, they had one of those like $10 Ace Hardware FSBO signs, for sale by owner signs, like a half block away at the turn. And I took that sucker and I kept it behind my door as a trophy for many years. And I kept it, and I was just like, yeah. And the best part is I sold their house and they moved to Idaho and they were very happy. One of the things that's been so fun with expireds and FSBOs for me is that I built a business that now has all this past client and referral action coming in, and we have this big brand, and I have my own building in downtown St. George, small building, but it's our own building. And what agents do is they go, I don't know if I want to deal with that rejection. I just want to deal with referral only. Does anybody know what the problem is with dealing with referral only?
You can't make your house payment.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. I love that. Is it passive, right? Or proactive? Referral only. Passive or proactive?
It's hopeful.
It's passive. It's hopeful.
Right.
Oh, I'm just going to work with, yeah. So what I want to wrap up with is you can go get a listing today from these sources. You could literally list one 5 days in a row this week if you were willing to learn this.
Let's quickly tell them your quick FSBO script and my quick FSBO script. Okay. When you call.
Okay.
Do you want me to do it first?
Yeah. Go, sure.
Okay. Ring, ring.
Yo, hello.
Is this Jeremy?
Yeah, this is him.
Are you the owner of 123 Oak Street?
Yeah, gosh. Are you an agent? We've had like 20 agents.
No. Yeah, I am. But I'm not calling because I'm interested in listing your house. I have a different goal. There's not a lot of homes on the market right now. Mm-hmm. And I was just wondering if an agent brought a buyer that would net you the same amount of money, no bullshit, but you could net the same amount of money. Are you open to working with that agent if they brought you a buyer?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I appreciate the directness. We're just really committed to doing this on our own at this.
No, I get it. Is your commitment just because you enjoy the process or because you want to save more money, or what's the commitment based on?
Yeah, look, was it Will?
Yes.
Well, I think it's, we need all the money we can get to go to the next home.
I
And
completely get it. And
yeah,
I don't want to waste my time or your time. I'm just simply asking if there was a scenario where you could net the same amount of money, and I'm not talking about in listing, I'm just saying there's not a lot of homes on the
mhm,
market right now.
mhm.
I'm in the business of working with buyers and sellers. If I had a buyer that would pay a price and terms acceptable to you, meaning the net out was what you wanted, are you open to looking at that? That's all I want to know.
Yeah, gosh, I mean, I guess when you frame it that way, I'd be open. I just can't make any commitments, brother.
I'm not asking for commitment. I just wanted, I'm looking for off market properties so that I've got more opportunities. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful.
Excellent. Based on that, are you? Is there any chance I could stop up by, take a quick few photos on my phone? That way, if I run into someone, I can speak more intelligently about
Yeah.
the house. And because you've been so nice to me, I actually have this. It's a checklist. It's called "You Found a Home" or "You Found a Buyer. What do you do now?" It's got
Yeah.
81 things that other sellers have told me they've run into. I'll give it to you.
Oh my gosh, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, no strings attached. Nothing's going to change at the meeting. So can I
Yeah.
stop by maybe tomorrow at 2 o'clock?
Yeah, and I can't wait to show you all the custom shelves in the garage that add about 100,000 in value to the property. So I think you'll
And the
love it, bro.
$15,000 JC Penney curtains.
Yeah, yeah. So
All right. So the whole
oh man.
idea here with a FISBO is just be straight with them. Don't ever try to change their mind, because when people try to change your mind, you get annoyed. So don't ever do that. Don't ever talk to them about the pitfalls of selling a house. The reason I have this checklist is because I go over the checklist with them. I actually haven't called a for sale by owner in probably 15 years, but because I did it for 20 plus years, I still remember the script, right?
I love it.
So, and then when you get over there, you just have them walk you through the house, you build rapport with them, and then you want to be like the Komodo dragon that bites the rhinoceros, and then goes and hangs out underneath the tree for 3 weeks till it dies of an infection. You just want
Yeah.
to be, as brutal as that sounds, you want to be the guy or girl that just hangs out. Now, I've been in a situation, I had a very strong for sale by owner muscle for a long time. You know why? Because I was making the calls, and we all suck at the beginning. And most of us, because we're functioning humans, we adjust based on the mistakes that we made, and we become better. You know, every professional tennis player started off sucking, and now they put in enough time, plus they've got, you know, genetics and everything else. But in our business, you just have to get better at talking to people. Same thing with expireds quickly. So my expired call is, I call them up, say, hey, I noticed your house was on the market 2 years ago. Obviously didn't sell. Are you still looking at offers?
Oh, yeah. I mean, gosh. Well, I mean, we're sick and tired of this crap, but I guess if somebody brought us an all cash offer and we got our price.
Yeah. So the one thing that you need to find out with expireds, when it came off the market, something changed in their life. They usually, when someone puts a house on the market, it's a response to something. They found another house, they're moving out of state, they took a job somewhere else. So you want to quickly find out what was the reason they had it on the market the first time, because otherwise you're just wasting your time. Does that make sense? So you want to quickly, with expireds, the FISBOs, they want to sell. So you want to find out why and where they're going and all of that. You can find out that at the house, though. All you want to do is get an appointment to see the house, explain there's not a lot of inventory. I just want to check it out. And I'm not asking for any commitments. As long as I can net you the amount of money you need, are you open to that? Most
I love
people
it.
aren't going to yell at you. In fact, Jeremy was being a little bit more of a dick, because, I mean, most sellers aren't going to be like that. They're
Hey,
not.
there you go. Yeah. Yeah. I gave a little bit of the, just the kind of like you're a little annoyed when someone calls.
Yeah.
So guys, one of the things I want to insert, Will, this is great. Get my,
And I want your quick script,
yeah,
because then they're going to be able to watch this later and actually use something to move forward.
and let me interject something. He made some great points. I'm going to add something to this because what he did is actually wonderful. And here's the fun part. If you really want to be awesome in this business and excel for many years, you have to always be a student. And that sounds so cliched. I'm still going to the seminars. I'm listening to Will and I'm like, oh man, he made a couple of good points there. Right? Like I'm learning. Will's learning. So I want to paint something that's important. People think expireds and FISBOs are the same, and he talked about waiting for that thing to die. So my framework with expireds and FISBOs is very different. With an expired, realize we could. Tom Ferry always had this rule: a third of expireds will relist today with the same agent or another. A third will relist way down the road, and a third won't relist ever. Okay, so. But when I'm calling expireds, realize that typically they're pretty angry. Wait, Jeremy, you're scaring me away. Yeah, but here's the best part. in your local market, even in a large city, I saw somebody from Dallas. In a given geographic area, I'll bet you 50 people try to call the expired day one, 25 try to call them the second time, and 10 or 12 are left after that. Most people quit after time one. Expireds, though, they're angry. They wanted to go, it didn't work, something changed, and people are calling. FSBOs, so expireds are a sprint, FSBOs tend to be a marathon. So the framework that I learned, that I always liked using is I would call FSBOs every Monday until they listed with me or with someone else or sold their home. That's just the way that I did it. And it's just, I learned that, and the reason why is on the weekend, they always think they're going to sell their home. And so I'd call Monday, and I didn't need to call them 7 days a week and drive them batshit crazy. Now, if somebody becomes a really hot lead, and that's a different conversation, right? Once they're in this dialogue of making decisions. Kelly asked the question, sources for FSBOs, both, I'm going to type in here as well, both Land Voice, Mojo, or RedX.
RedX.
So not both three. Okay. So with the FSBO, so then I'm going to give you guys a quick mindset tip. And I really, I'm going to throw this, I'm literally going to put this in the chat. Okay. And I think you're going to like this. 3, 2, 1, go. I just put it in here. And here's what it says. Number one, believe intensely that you can help them. Because remember what I said at the top of the hour? If you don't believe you can take a listing every day, you actually won't even try. When you call a FSBO or an expired, believe intensely that you can help them. And that you can net the FSBO the same or even more money than they could on their own. Number 2, make a connection. Number 3, discover motivation. And number 4, only if you've done 1 through 3, do you set an appointment. See how that takes the pressure off? So I'd call Will and go like this, ring, ring. He's a FSBO. All right, ring, ring.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, I'm calling about the home for sale by owner over at 123 Banana Street. Yeah. Oh man, do you love Jesus like I do? Gosh.
No. All right, we'll skip through the stuff in the middle. Okay, yes, sir. What can I help you with?
Hey man, look, by the way, I know you are probably getting a ton. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a realtor. I don't know if there's a prize for the 50th caller, but I'll be really short. Can I just ask you a quick question? Then you can decide if this call is worth your time, Will.
Sure, that sounds good.
Yeah, look, you're getting a lot of calls. It sounds like you're selling the home by owner. Like you haven't hired an agent. You don't intend to right now. Is that right?
That's correct. We're doing it on our own.
Okay, totally cool. Let me just acknowledge that because I know a lot of agents call and kind of beat you up for that decision. I respect it, right? We're in the same game for a minute. But kind of here's the question, Will. If I don't have a buyer today, but if I did have a buyer in the future, would you guys be open to entertaining an offer?
Well, I really don't want to pay a commission.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and I get it. And look, Will, if you can sell it on your own and save the commission, I'd probably do the same thing. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, that's why we're doing it.
Yeah. So look, while I've got you on the phone, I mean, I saw it on Zillow or one of the services that I subscribe to. It looks like a beautiful home, 4 beds, 3 baths. Tell me a little bit more about it, like something I wouldn't know just from the listing.
Okay, blah, 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 did that.
Yeah, cool. So it's got the $50,000 shelves and cabinets. Yeah. So
and the Sears curtains.
The Sears, yeah. Will, it sounds like an incredible home. Why would you guys even want to sell it?
Well, we're moving out of state to be near my daughter.
Oh, really? Amazing. Well done. Where is that, by the way, if I can ask?
St. George, Utah.
Okay, well, don't even start me on that. That's a whole separate phone call. Zion National Park. Jesse Zagorski was invited there. He never took the invite, never came, but that's a whole conversation. So St. George, Utah. Well, in a perfect world, if you could write the script, when would you and your family want to be there with your
end of the year?
Yeah, yeah. So end of the year. Okay, taking some notes, and your daughter's out there. I don't know, like just out of morbid curiosity. I mean, if you can't get there by end of the year, first quarter, then what?
Haven't thought about it yet. I'm pretty sure I'll sell my house. The shelves are pretty sweet.
Yeah, honestly, Will, to be fair, the home does look great. I'm wondering, I'm going to be out in the area this week. Would it be okay if I came by and you gave me, that's what I call the 50-cent tour, and have you show me around, show me some of the more compelling features? And I'd love to take a look at it for some future clients. Would that be okay with you?
As long as you don't try to talk to me about listing it.
Okay, perfect. Well, Will, let's definitely not have that conversation. I mean, to be fair, I don't know you and you don't know me. You might not even like me, Will. Well, we might
And I
not
might
like
not
each
want to
other.
list it. Right.
Right,
Exactly.
right. We might not like each other, but I would love that opportunity. Okay, and that's it, guys. All I'm looking to do is set up a preview appointment. But while I'm on the call, I might ask, well, I'm just going to ask you point blank. If there were a financial benefit to me taking the listing on, taking on all of the headache, all of the showing activity, getting you feedback through showing time, controlling who's coming and going, pre-qualifying buyers through the agents, negotiating the contract, putting my errors and omissions insurance in place. If there were a financial benefit to all of that, would you be open to it?
I don't know yet, man.
Okay. Let's
We
just do
just
this.
started doing this.
Why don't you just have me over? We'll do a walkthrough of the home. And look, if we like each other, we can have another conversation, but I at least like to put eyeballs on it. That's it. Okay. Fizbo
Sounds good.
That's it. Okay. So
All right.
one of the things I
Let's
want to point out is that we're not trying to be super slick here. We're just getting into the house. That's it. Okay.
They've got a house. We're all in the house selling business at that stage. Talk to the seller like we're all in the same house selling business. If I can bring you a buyer, put a deal together, and you have a smile on your face, are you open to that?
Yeah. Yeah. So if
That's
I call
it. That's
yeah.
it.
And if I call it expired, guys, it's a very similar framework. So I call it expired. I say ring, ring. And
Hello?
Will answers.
Yeah,
Hey, is this Will?
it is.
Hey, Will. Oh, man. You sound as disappointed as I would be if my home came off the market. Did I get the right guy?
Yeah, but that's how I am all the time.
Oh, man. Gosh. Well, I apologize to your wife and kids. Will, I'll be really quick, man. My name's Jeremy Larkin, by the way. And if what I say doesn't make sense, just hang up the phone. Is that cool?
Okay.
Yeah, I see the home. It sounds like it did come off the market. And just, I got to ask, I mean, what happened?
It didn't sell.
Yeah. Clearly, right? I'm looking at the home. That is a lovely home. I mean, a lot of homes are selling, Will. While you've been on the market, 1,000 have sold. What do you think
Right.
happened?
I think that well, they had a bunch of showings, but they couldn't get the buyers to write an offer.
Yeah. So you did get showing activity. Tell me more about that.
We had a lot of showings at the beginning, and then it fell off, and then nobody bought it. But the agent, I just don't feel like he did much.
Yeah. 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 I totally get it. And then, guys, I would go through a dialogue like that. And all I want to point out in the interest of time is the
Yeah, because we've
framework.
got to get through
Yeah.
the two other
Yeah.
pillars.
The framework I like to use as a final parting shot on expireds is what happened. I'm trying to simplify the process. What happened? You know,
Right.
like rather than, hey, did you know that we specialize in selling homes? They're like they're out.
And then find out why they had it on the market in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's really important, because otherwise you can fall into a trap.
And once Will starts into a dialogue with me about what happened, he's like a shoe that you've worn. If anybody's a skier out there, you warm up your ski boot. It's a little easier to put on your foot. He's going to be way more pliable and more likely to go. I go, look, well, out of curiosity, like, where were you guys even moving to? And then he's like, we want to move to St. George near my daughter. That's it, guys. I'll leave you with this, and FSBOs and expireds. You can call one this morning and list it this afternoon. If you don't think so, you're wrong.
Then you're right.
Do it. Or you're right.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Thank you.
Yeah.
You don't think so, you're right. Okay, keep going. Bro.
No, we know solo agents in regular markets that make a ton of money. Why is it they can why is it that they can do it but you can't? Everyone is empowered in this business to make the same amount of money if they're willing to get out of their own head and take action. Okay, the next pillar, and this is a good one. We got less time, but we're going to get through it. We've got attracting through professionals. Okay, so you're thinking about probate court attorneys. You're thinking about financial advisors. We're thinking about builder reps. I've been talking to Christina about builder reps for a long time. I would call Ryan Holmes, Pulte, and I would just go chum up with the builder rep, because one of the biggest hurdles they have is when one or more of the buyers that are sitting down with them to buy one of their production built homes is stressed out because they think that it's too much money for them, and they throw the brakes on. And I go in there as the person that's going to thaw the whole thing out. I'm going to say, listen, I know that you want to sell them a house. I want to be your resource who can get over there, show them what their house is worth, what the expenses are, what they can do to get it ready for sale, and get that all to them so that they then get back to you. And I'll cheerlead for you through the entire process. And that's going to help you get these questions answered, because one of the pains that these builder reps have is that their buyer leaves on a Saturday. They meet a realtor who convinces them not to buy their house and try to put them in a resale home or a couple-of-year-old home. If we can go in there as their advocate to patch the whole thing together and let them know, we just want the resale listings. I had one rep where I got 7 listings from him in 1 year. 7. And the cool thing is, those people have to sell their house because they're building one. They can't back out. They're building a house, right? So builder reps can be a great thing. Probate court appraisers, or excuse me, attorneys. Probate, I looked at my phone and my brain fried. Squirrel. So probate attorneys or elder law attorneys are great. And the way you meet them, you can join groups, people you know, but you want to have at least a few attorneys. I've got one of my best friends is an attorney now, but I get 2 or 3 listings a year from him, right? So think about professionals and who you can chum up with, because then, you know how like loan officers, they get business from you and you might send them 2, 3 loans in a month. The way that we can replicate that type of leverage so you can sell a lot more homes, if you've got 4 or 5 builder reps and you've got a couple of attorneys, then they can be sending you quite a lot of business over the course of a year. And it's well worth the time. And you build a professional relationship with you. So the rejection is going to be at the beginning, but with the builder reps, they're just salespeople like us. They're just trying to make a living. And usually if you go over there and introduce yourself and say, hey, I just want to walk through the house. I haven't been to this community before. I'd like to be able to tell buyers about it. I'm going to do a quick social media video. That's another thing you can do. You can use it for social media and just do a video of the model, talk to the rep, and just try to become their resource. And if they already have someone, then just try to be their backup. And there's plenty of builder reps out there, but you need to have about 5 or so going. Then if you could build a relationship with an attorney, right? So if you start adding all these things together, you can sell the number of homes that you want to in a year. Do you want to add to that, Jeremy?
Yeah, well, I want to add something. There's a guy on my team. He became the state of Utah sales director for D.R. Horton. And that's why he left our team. Dude was selling like 45 homes a year at the Larkin Group, which of course I was pretty bummed when he left Joe. And Joe would go out and he was one of these guys who would just put deals together. He'd go out, he'd drive around new construction. He just got going to neighborhoods where people were building. He'd pull up, there was a sign in front, hey, XYZ Builders, Acme Builders. He'd stop at the site, find the contractor if they were on site, or call the sign. And the only thing I'm telling you is he took listings that way. He connected buyers to off-market properties that way. It's this process of going all the way to the first thing we said. And the first thing we said today was believe you can find a new client every day. And then he would go out, he just would find clients, and he would literally do this every day. And to Will's point earlier, guys, you have all day. Isn't it interesting that we fill our time with nonsense? And one of the things that I want to wrap up with, Will, when we get to the last 3 minutes, is kind of what I feel like is an ideal daily schedule, even though he talked about time blocking not working as well for him. But I do want to talk about that before we part, because if you're thinking, well, if you want me to go get builder reps and attorneys, how can I get a listing today? Well, the issue is you needed to build the relationship 6 months ago. And that's what we're talking about today. FSBOs and expireds we can list today. You might get a builder to list today. But quite frankly, you can start the relationship today. So all of a sudden the pipeline gets backfilled with opportunities, and then you have business down the road. That's all I got on that. Let's talk about clients.
And the nice thing about the professionals is it's leverage, because you can get more than one deal coming in at any given time, as opposed to the onesie twosies, which is what most of us do. Okay. Correct. So the last one one of the most important, once you, because it's got to be the third leg of your stool, is repeat and referral business. People that come back to you and referrals. I've become very, very cynical. There was a part in my career where 70% of my business was past client referrals and repeat business. Okay. The problem is the average person is spending almost 8 hours a day on this. We have become, once again, the chimpanzee who smoked cigarettes and now they're chain smokers because outside forces gave them one cigarette. Now they're hooked. And that's the equivalent here because we're just animals, right? At the end of the day. So now we have to do our regular real life in that same 24-hour period, and we have to sleep, and we've got this. So the point is, all the other people out there are on them too. So if we think that we can just send them a football calendar or, a newsletter twice a year or an email newsletter, which most of which are garbage. They get thrown in spam promotions or they never get read. It's unreasonable to think that you can have that few of touches like in the old days and have people think about you, because it's not just know, like, and trust. It's know, like, trust doesn't matter unless they remember you. And now, because of these, remembering is become a much tougher job because people are just inundated with reels and they're on TikTok and all the rest of it, right? So one thing that we've got a private Facebook group with all our past clients in there that we post content to. So that's been very effective. We're having a pie event. We've got about 100 orders where we go to a local pie company and we have 3 options, and we've been spending the last 2 weeks trying to get clients to order their free pie. And on the 22nd, we're going to do that. We usually do 1 or 2 events a year. We've done as many as 4, but I'm a terrible planner, so we don't do as many. But whatever you do, staying in touch with your past clients, offering them something of value, like local dog parks if they've got animals, local restaurants, a list of vendors. You need to be staying in touch with your people monthly. And it can't just be phone calls and texts, but social media, wishing them a happy birthday. That you can ask ChatGPT, by the way, what's the best way to stay top of mind with my past clients is fear. Once they understand you're a real estate agent, it becomes very, very good. Jeremy?
I want to say the same thing, and I want to piece this together. This calling expireds, calling FSBOs, hosting open houses. I mean, I've got people on this call right now who have sold $6-7 million in real estate at an average price point of $500,000 or $600,000 here in my community, just from open houses. The reason that we do these bottom of funnel activities, so if we think about a funnel, right? Top of funnel is all the opportunities. Bottom of funnel and people. Bottom of funnel is like the people who, bink, they pop out like a baby and they're ready to take action, right? It was a fun visual, wasn't it, ladies? So, hey, I witnessed 4 of those, all right? So the reason we do the bottom of funnel activity is what we do is we take those people, and then what we do, to Will's point, is, so I go out here and Steve on the call today, I don't know Steve, but he's probably a good dude. Steve, I call him, he's a FSBO, he's an expired, he comes to an open house, I convert him to a client. Afterward, I start loving on Steve. I start building a relationship, a real relationship with Steve. I give him a pie at Thanksgiving. I send him a birthday card. I invite him out to the barbecue. Steve now does 2 things. Steve refers me, likely, hopefully, and number 2, he can come back to me later. If we look at the lifetime value of a client, my friend Nick McLean talks about this like crazy. The lifetime value of a client is actually typically 7 transactions if handled correctly. Isn't that interesting? Remember what they said in the Bible, even 7 times 7? Man, I'm on a biblical theme today. 7 times 7. So but one client becomes 7 transactions. And that's the part I want to deploy to our group today, is you do bottom. So what you want is top of funnel, bottom of funnel activities going on. Bottom of funnel is like, who can I talk to who would do something today? I want to parlay this into one of the thoughts. Will, in our notes, we talked about follow-ups. We talk about the fortune in the follow-up. If Steve came in top of funnel because he was a home value lead 6-12 months ago, oh, I'm just curious about my home's value. Famous last words. I'm just curious. At some point, if he's going to sell, he pops out the bottom of the funnel. And this is where follow-up comes in. So if you look at a day, I want to talk about framing a day. In a perfect world, I'm going to give you one of my favorite quotes in real estate. Gary Keller. Gary Keller says, be obnoxious about 6 a.m. to, excuse me, be obnoxious about 6 a.m. to 12 noon. And I'll qualify this for you. And basically everything else is irrelevant the rest of the day. Be obnoxious about 6 to 12. By the way, it could be 5 for you. What he means is get up early, have a morning routine that builds your mind and your spirit and your energy. Mainly off of your phone, please, guys, in the morning. I try not to touch my phone. Will Penney sent me a text last night. Hey, we should get on the phone in the morning. I waited until I got to a 5:30 yoga class before I responded to him. Because the second I responded, Will's great. I was going to start in motion this thing, right? So I got up. I went to a 5. I don't always get up that early, but daylight savings helped. So you're up early. You have a morning routine. You get some sunshine and move your body and stay away from your phone. I love it. I'd love to see you guys meditate for 5 and 10 minutes. How do I meditate? Go to YouTube, guys. Get an app. It's right. Keep it simple. Write out your goals. Write out your gratitudes. It's crazy that we have to write out our goals. I do best if I literally write something down every day. Come into the office at a decent hour. If you can, be in an office. Some of you work from home. I like to work in the office. What's 8 or 9 to noon? Lead generation and lead follow-up. So in that time, here's what a morning used to look like for me. It looks a little different now, but we have a huddle at 9 o'clock with our team every day. Why did I go to 9? Because I couldn't get these freaking people, love you guys very much in my team, to come in at 8:30. So we moved it from 8:30 to 9. Okay. Lead generate. I would call for typically 2 hours. I would do follow-up and stuff for the next hour. So I'd call from 9 to 11 and I'd do stuff. Well, what does stuff look like? Well, if I get Christina on the phone and she's like, yeah, set me up on a home search. Well, at some point I have to set up the home search, but I don't stop the calling to set up the home search. See, stopping the calling to set up the home search is a secret self-sabotaging mental masturbation that agents do. Did you guys love what I just said? It's one of my favorite terms. Oh my gosh, Steve wants to buy a house. We stop and we start fiddling with Steve. Secretly, we got out of making phone calls. So what I did is I called for 2 hours while I was in the mood, so to speak, right? I was in the mood. And when you set an appointment, Will, when was the best time to make more phone calls? After you set an appointment. Because
that's why if I got an appointment right away, I would know, because I always fought with it as well. My desire to avoid rejection was superseded by my desire to make my house payment and pay my bills.
Yeah.
So that was the mindset that I always had. I hated making phone calls. I did not like it. You know, we had a kiosk when I was at Century 21 in a mall where they had photos. I was saying, could I help, like walking up to the glass counter where people are looking and saying, can I help you? It was like Willy Wonka trying to say, I love you. It was terrible. I just couldn't do it. Right. I was terrible with open houses. I just couldn't walk up to people. And because if they said something snarky to me, it was just game over. And I mean, so I always put myself in situations where it was success for me, but I never did well at the kiosk. But then there were other people selling 20 homes a year. So you've got to find what works. But at the very minimum, like I knew that if I just said no to everything, well, then I'm just broke. You have to pick something that's productive, and you can't just put sand around in a bowl.
Yep.
Thinking like with social media, and think that you can wish 6 happy birthdays and you had a productive day. You got to do more than that if you want to make a 6-figure income in this business.
You do. And I should point out that Rebecca Vivallo loved the kiosk. It's so good. And guys,
by the way, Rebecca's been on my team for almost 23 years.
Oh my gosh. Do you guys still have a gold sport coat anywhere? Because I want to see you in it. Okay. Guys, I'll say this about
I do have one.
I'll say this about your 6 to 12 as we wrap up. So you have a nice morning. You beat the morning. You beat all the chaos of all the people who want to take your time from you. By the way, your clients in the world don't wake up thinking they want to take your time from you. They just want what they want. So you have that you'd have your morning routine, do your lead generation for 2 hours, have a nice blocked hour, if you can, to do some follow-up. Then it's lunchtime. You've done Gary's 6 to 12. What I did in the afternoon is I would hold open houses, knock FSBO and expired doors, or go on appointments, period, done, end of story. And as a pretty young agent with three kids, young kids at home, I had a non-working spouse. I've told this story a million times. I've never had a spouse contributing to the income of our household, ever. I built this whole business without it. And I would go home most days, guys, believe it or not, at like 5:30 at night, sometimes 6, because I was obnoxious about the day. Yeah, sometimes there was evenings and weekends, but not often. So if you can do that, you can start to get your life back, which is a whole separate conversation. I want to say something, Will. Guys, in the next month, we're going to do a business planning event. We'll make sure that you all get an invite. I will take you through the most concise, effective business planning module you've ever seen in your life. You're going to be like, you're going to want to kiss me. And I'm going to tell my wife, they all want to kiss me. And she can be like, well, whatever it is to get the money, babe. She won't say that. Okay. Q&A. Who's got a question before we get out of here?
Everybody's muted. The best thing to do is to just type in the chat.
Yep.
If anybody's got a question.
Open houses still work, Rebecca, that's for sure. They always work. Good grief. Guys, while you're typing questions in the chat, we had our morning huddle yesterday, Monday. Autumn, one of my agents, she walks in. We do one good thing at the beginning of every huddle. She said, I had an open house Saturday. 3 people came in that wanted to buy, sell. In one open house. She could literally do 6 transactions.
Right.
This is mind-blowing, right? Like,
oh
my gosh.
The last powerful thing this time of year, and my team has heard me say it ad nauseum, everybody's getting together this time of year. Football games, Thanksgiving, Halloween, that passed, but Christmas stuff. And they talk about family and they talk about moving. And if people are thinking about moving in the spring, they talk to their friends about it. If they've heard from you because you called to offer them a new vendor list, or you just checked in to see how they were doing or whatever, then they're going to say, oh, I just spoke to John. I just spoke to Jeremy. You should connect with him. This is the time of year that you should make sure that everyone in your database has heard from you.
Yep. Guys, let me share something, a link. I don't think we have a lot of questions, and that's okay.
No, that's all right.
Guys, I'm going to give to you, because we would love this. Look, we've given you all the love that we possibly can today. I have, come on, copy and paste. I have a little Instagram. Will, I want you to put yours in there as well. High Impact Realtor. I've been building this a couple of years. Literally, it was just like for fun, but building out kind of a full evergreen coaching platform where we will help agents move the needle. And I put it in there. Love a follow. If you don't follow me, we'll throw yours in the chat as well for the people that came in from my side. We had a lot of people register, and what it's funny, we actually did better. We figured that 1/3 would show up and about half did show up. So we'll get you a recording. Definitely follow the Will Penney and at High Impact Realtor. We drop this stuff every single day. Will's giving a tip every day before the end of the year. And again, as a peer, I'm watching every video going, this is a great video. Like this is actually a really useful tip.
Thanks, guys. And feel free to DM me on if anyone needs any help or whatever, just reach out. All right.
Thanks,
I'm
guys.
going to shut this down. Thanks, everybody.
Peace out. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Building Stronger Agents podcast. If you like this episode, please give us a 5-star review and share our podcast with your friends.